Hello everyone, welcome to Oracle of the Central Sun. I am Michelle. So today's video is about Uranus moving into Gemini. I have been saying this whole year, and I'm sure you've heard it in many other places, that between the years of 2025 and 2027, we are undergoing a radical change on this planet. And this is because the outer planets are all moving into new signs simultaneously. This is not something that happens very often at all. So Pluto has already changed signs and moved into Aquarius. Neptune and Saturn have changed signs and they are now sitting in Aries. They will do a brief retrograde back into Pisces before they both gonna stay in Aries for a while. And now we have Uranus dipping its toe into Gemini. This is going to happen between the 7th of July and the 7th of November. Then it is going to retrograde back into Taurus for a while. And then from 26 April 2026 until 22 May of 2033, Uranus will then be in Gemini. Uranus takes just over 84 years to go around the zodiacal wheel, and so it stays in a sign for about 7.5 years. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before, and welcome back if you are a regular. Please share with others if this is helpful. Please comment below. I love to hear your experiences. Just leave an emoji if you can. Please like the video. It helps my channel to grow and it helps my business to grow, and I truly appreciate the interaction. So Gemini is air sign, and this means that Uranus in Gemini is going to bring about even faster change than it could in the sign of Taurus. I will talk about that more right at the end of this video, where I will give a breakdown sign by sign of where Uranus in Gemini is going to fall for you in your chart by rising sign. So when Uranus is in a earth sign like it was in Taurus, there is more natural stability there, and the stability of an earth sign can allow for the change that Uranus wants to bring to be a little bit more sporadic, because there is earth there. It wants to stay stable. So the change that Uranus brought in Taurus could have felt a bit more like an earthquake every time something big happened. But now with Uranus in Gemini, because it is air element is fast moving. It's all about our thoughts and our minds. You know, that part of us that happens really quickly, you know, the mind and the thought, it almost happens instantaneously. So the energy of Uranus in Gemini is going to be much faster than what we've been used to for the last 7 years. So Uranus is excuse me. Uranus is the change maker. It is all about sudden change. It is about flashes of insights. And this can really be like a visual flash in your mind that suddenly helps you to see something in absolute clarity. Like If you are in the dusk or in the evening and everything is really invisible because of the darkness and a lightning strike happens, that moment of illumination when the light comes down, that is literally the experience we have with Uranus, is that sudden illumination. So of course it is then also referred to as having light bulb moments. It is about new perspectives. Uranus is about innovation and invention. It is about revolution, wanting the new and letting go of old things that no longer work. It is about breaking away from established order. It is about a push towards greater freedom. It is about a push towards progress. It is about eccentric ideas and out-of-the-box ideas. It is about rebelliousness. It's about unexpected experiences. It is about breakthroughs, originality, original behavior, original thinking. It is about independence and freedom. And it is also about spiritual awakening. If Uranus is traveling in one of the more liminal spaces in your chart that is linked to spirituality and the unconscious mind, you can be experiencing real spiritual awakening during this time, because Uranus really has that ability to bring that lightning strike of clarity and to really awaken you to your ultimate nature. So, as with all energies and all transits, not all of us will feel this equally strongly. Of course, if you are a Gemini rising, this is going to be strong for you. If Gemini is either your first, your fourth, your seventh, or your 10th house, this will have a bigger influence on you. Those are the signs that anchor the chart like a cross, first, fourth, 7th, and 10th. And they have the biggest influence in your life when those parts of your chart are being influenced. And of course, if you have planets or placements somewhere in Gemini, or in opposite signs to Gemini, or in square signs to Gemini, this is going to bring so much change into your life. And if you have planets and places, planets or placements in signs that are sextile or trine to Gemini, the change will be more subtle and smooth. It won't be as radical as what happens with conjunctions, oppositions, or squares. So if we look back to what has transpired in your life for the last 7.5, 8 years since 2018, which I will mention at the end of this video, then you will really start to get a perspective of what kind of change Uranus brings. Pluto is really also a big change maker planet, but it is much slower. It works with such deep unconscious energies. And with Pluto, we go deeply into the unconscious, then we come up. So the transformation is much slower. With Uranus, the transformation usually comes in a very fast way. Like I said, it's like a lightning strike. So it is a different kind of awakening that we experience with Uranus compared to what we experience with the planet Pluto. It is much more sudden. It is much more like a lightning strike. It is much more like a feeling of wanting to break free of what is no longer working. And yes, sometimes with Uranus, like Pluto, it can be unconscious as well, because with Uranus, if there's a certain part of your life, especially in the fixed signs, that maybe needed change, but you were clinging to the old ways of being, then Uranus can come and really shake you loose in an earthquake-like way from what used to be. And it can really push you, sometimes in quite a sudden way, to move into new ways. So what I've observed in my life and in the life of my clients, the number one thing that is so important about Uranus, and you can investigate this for yourself, is for that period of 7 years where it's traveling through your chart and a part of your life, if you look back, say just for the last period of Uranus in Taurus, so from 2018 to 2025, for me personally, that was my 10th house. There is nothing the same in my house of career in now today in 2025 than what I started with in 2018. It brings radical change, and sometimes it can be 1 or 2 radical changes depending on how the planets and places fall in your chart. And sometimes it really is like a 7.5, 8-year process of change upon change upon change upon change that will unfold in your life and bring you to a completely new place. It is really, with Uranus, the word radical is not an overestimation, because when you look back, the change is complete. It's a 180-degree shift. Usually nothing looks the same than it did in the beginning. So with Uranus, because it is that energy of shakeups, and even more so in the air sign of Gemini, where things are very fast moving. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and so Mercury itself is a very fast moving energy. And so with Uranus being in the sign of Gemini, we can really have such fast change, and things can move really, really quickly in new directions and develop in new ways, and especially in terms of our thought patterns, our communication, and also technologies that we will be using in our lives over the next 7.5 years, until Uranus finally leaves Gemini in the middle of 2033. So I asked for some guidance from the I Ching, and I received hexagram 20. So I'm using my pocket I Ching again today. I love this book. It is called The Little Book of Changes by Peter Crisp, and hexagram 20 in this book is called Taking a Long Look. I love this because Uranus compared to Mercury is a very high perspective. It really is about those energies of enlightenment and such high perspective change that we can undergo. And it says, by finding a high place, you gain the perspective that you need. So this is really asking us, oh, by the way, so I asked for guidance only for these first 4 months that we are going to be having Uranus in Gemini. So this is between the 7th of July and the 7th of November. So find a high place and gain new perspective. You like seeing and being seen. The wind blows where it will. You move along among the people, observing their ways. So this is really about observation. It can be about meditation, really gaining a much higher perspective through meditation. The suggestion is a period of contemplation, a place of elevation, so you can see the big picture, looking at your life, what you have to offer the world, the intensity of your focus, the sincerity of your devotion, combine to give you a power of seeing that enables you to have a profound effect on the attitudes of people without them even knowing that it happens. So this is beautiful. This is really about a high perspective. It's about finding stillness. It's about observation, observing others, observing the world, observing your life, and finding a new perspective from that high view. If Uranus brings some shakeups into your life, which I'm sure it will on some level, because as a planet moves into a new sign, there's always a stronger element at the start of that sign, and then when it retrogrades, it will move back in again in April of 2026. So then we will also be experiencing this movement of Uranus into Gemini again. So one of my other favorite I Ching books is The Elements of the I Ching. This is by Stephen Karcher. So in this book, hexagram 20 is called Viewing. Let everything come into view and find divine meaning. So it says, in this situation, there is a need to look without acting in order to find the right perspective. So there's something about these next 4 months where we are really being called to find a new perspective from that higher seeing point. It says, particularly look at what you usually don't want to see or think about. So this is something Uranus can bring about, is those light bulb moments of insight where we see things that we maybe didn't want to see, and we see them from a new perspective. Have confidence. Examining things will bring about the insight you need. When you have made the preparations, the Spirit will arrive and carry you through. So this really is about stillness. It's about higher perspective. I would say it's also about grounding you, because we are now with Pluto and Uranus both being in air elements, there's so much air happening that we can easily feel ungrounded. So having grounding practices, walking outside barefoot on the grass, going to the beach barefoot, all of these things can really help us to stay grounded. Doing energetic grounding when you are doing your meditation, all of these things are really helpful, and finding that higher perspective. So I also worked with the collective energy, and I picked out things that really need to shift for the collective at this time, and I'm going to present an EFT tapping for these energies at this time. So we're only going to be tapping up here on the head, which feels so apt because it's all to do with the air element energies. And we're going to be tapping at the eyebrow, side of the eye, under the eye, and under the nose. So you can tap with me. This is all about collective energies that need to shift. Even if this doesn't feel exactly true for you at this time, you can still tap along and help the collective to shift these energies at this time. So, yeah, follow along with me. So, even though I often feel that I need to be the strong person, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I feel that I need to be strong, and sometimes I feel I'm not strong enough, I love and accept myself completely. I can sometimes just relax. I don't have to be strong. I don't have to be strong for myself. I don't have to be strong for other people. I can feel all the challenging things that need to be felt. And I love and accept myself in feeling all of these things. I let go of having to be strong. I let go of having to be a certain way. I feel and I am authentic. And in this, I love and accept myself completely. I let go of acknowledgement, needed acknowledgement from the outside. I am introspective. I acknowledge myself in who I am. And I love and accept myself completely. I see myself completely. I let go of the need of outside acknowledgement. I love and accept and see myself completely. Even though I feel that I cannot express myself exactly as I am, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I feel I cannot be seen exactly as I am, I love and accept myself completely. I am able to express myself exactly as I am. I love and accept myself completely. Sometimes I feel despondent when I see the ruthlessness of the world. And I still love and accept myself completely. I feel so sad because organizations and people out there in the world can be so ruthless. And I don't understand this. But I love and accept myself completely. I am open to new perspectives. Even though I feel that in the past I have not always made the best decisions, I am open to my highest discernment. I love and accept my highest discernment completely. Even though I feel that in some way, shape or form, I have been discriminated against in school, in work, in the expectations of society, I love and accept myself completely. I am now open to expressing myself fully. I love and accept and express my authentic self completely. I am open to expressing myself authentically. I acknowledge myself and let go of outside acknowledgement expectations. I let go of the ruthless expectations of the world. And I am loving and accepting myself completely. Whew, you can shake that out. I can really feel the energy moving here in the upper part of my body. So the energies are shifting. I really feel this is such an era that we're moving into of authentic authentic self-expression from a heartfelt place, from a compassionate place, from an empathic place. And we are going to be saying no to the ruthless ways of the world. And maybe this is part of the rebellion, that we can all be part of, in a gentle, conscious way. So yes, come back to this tapping again as you need it over the next 4 months, and really express these energies that we can all let go of at this time. So I also asked for an affirmation or declaration that is for the collective over the next 4 months. And I feel this is also super apt with where the energies are going and where we are going to be in the middle of 2026 with how we're going to be expressing ourselves, because there's a lot that needs to be let go of in order for us to move into the next stage of who we are. And the affirmation that we are working with, and I'm sure we're all working with this to a bigger or lesser degree in our lives, it is, I am fully capable to remove myself from all abusive and negative situations. So I hope this relates for you. If you are relating to that energy, you can work with your lower chakra balancing as well. You can work with this affirmation daily. You can put it up in your house, and you can really work with these energies over the next 4 months. So that is the healing part of this video. And now I'm going to get into the rising sign energies. I'm going to go through these very briefly because this is already a long video, just to give you an idea of where you were between 2018 and 2025, and now where Uranus is going to be between 2025 and 2033. So for Aries rising, Between 2025 and 2033, Uranus is going to be in your third house. This means it's bringing change to your mind, your communication, your thought patterns, your way of thinking, and how you relate to your own mind, how you learn, the different ways that you learn. And it can also bring change in relationships to siblings and other extended family, and also in how you relate to your neighborhood and the places that you move in daily. So for you, Aries, between 2018 and 2025, Uranus was in your second house. So you can look back and see how things changed for you with second house energies. This is about money. This is about your resources. It is about your skills. What changed for you between 2018 and 2025 in those areas of skills, money, resources, and compare how different things are now than what they were in 2018. So for Taurus rising, Gemini is now moving into your second house until 2033. And your second house is all about your resources, your money matters, your skills, and big change will occur over the next 7.5 years for you in your second house area. For you, Taurus, of course, Uranus was in your first house between 2018 and 2025. So this is all about you. Taurus, you can look back how different you are in your body, how you express yourself, how you dress, how you exercise, and just generally who you are. How much has changed for you between 2018 and 2025? And then you can see how radical the change is that happens when Uranus travels through a part of your chart. So for Gemini rising, Uranus is now moving into your first house. This means that you are going to be changing, Gemini. This is all about you, who you are, your personality, how the world sees you. It is about your body. It's about your exercise habits. It really is about exactly who you are and how this is going to change for you over the next 7.5 years. For Geminis, Uranus from 2018 to 2025 was in your 12th house. So this means it was working with more unconscious things. You could have had radical changes in letting go of addictions, healing unconscious things that have been with you for lifetimes and lifetimes, relating to your spirituality in completely different ways, being able to connect to different realms and different spiritual ways of being and awakenings that you never experienced before 2018. So see how radical these things have changed for you since 2018 until 2025, Gemini. So for Cancer rising, Uranus is now going to move into your 12th house. The 12th house is an unconscious place. It is a very esoteric place. It is about healing unconscious things. It's about enlightening moments in your unconscious mind. And it is about letting go of addictive patterns and self-sabotaging behaviors. So this is an important place, Cancer, and it is not always that obvious what changes when a planet is traveling through the 12th house, but you should be able to see what change can come for you in these areas of your life between now and 2033. So for you, between 2018 and 2025, Uranus was in your 11th house. And this is all about your hopes, your dreams, groups that you belong to, friends, colleagues, and benefactors. So for Cancer rising, you would have experienced a radical change between 2018 and 2025 in terms of what groups you relate to, what friends you hang out with, what your hopes and dreams are, and also the people coming to help you in these hopes or dreams. And for Leo rising, Uranus is now moving into your 11th house until 2033. So this is the house of hopes and dreams. It is the house of groups, colleagues, benefactors, any of those groups that you belong to, whether it's a tennis club or a book club or any group related thing, and friendship circles can also radically change at this time. So for Leo, between 2018 and 2025, you had Uranus in your 10th house. So that means between 2018 and 2025, you underwent a radical change in the part of your life that relates to career. And I'm sure that nothing is the same as it was in 2018. So for Virgo rising, Uranus is now moving into your 10th house. So this is all about your career, it's about your public life, it's about your status. You can undergo radical change from now until 2033 in terms of what you do, where you work, how people see you. All of these things can be completely transformed. So for Virgo, if you want to look back between 2018 and 2025, you had Uranus in your 9th house. The 9th house is a spiritual place. It's about your spiritual belief systems. It's about religion. It's about traveling. It's about how you relate to foreign places and foreign cultures. And it can be about teachers and teaching, becoming a teacher. And usually when Uranus is traveling through the 9th house, you can have great spiritual awakenings. So for Libra rising, Uranus is now moving into your 9th house. This means that from now until 2033, you can undergo great change in terms of your spiritual life, your religious beliefs, how you relate to foreign places and foreign cultures. It can be about teachers, meeting new teachers. It can be about becoming a new teacher yourself. And so expect great change in terms of those things between now and 2033. So for you, Libra, between 2018 and 2025, you had Uranus in your 8th house. And the 8th house is sometimes a little bit more challenging to discern because it is such a liminal space. But the 8th house is about transformation. It is also about shared resources, how you share your money, your skills, and even your love with others in your life. It can be a place of death as well. Sometimes when we have transits in the 8th house, we do let go of loved ones. I know of some Libran people who during the Uranus transit had to let go of some loved ones. So don't be scared. Sometimes it's a metaphorical letting go, sometimes it's a physical letting go, but death is definitely a part of the 8th house. So for Scorpio risings, Uranus is now moving into your 8th house. The 8th house is a very esoteric place. It is liminal. It's about transformation. It is about how we relate to others, how we share our love, our companionship, our resources with others. So expect great change in how you relate to shared resources and transformation between now and 2033. And for Scorpio, between 2018 and 2025, Uranus was in your 7th house. And this means you would have had a great transformation in your relationship to others, people that you relate to one-on-one, with clients, with bosses, and also with other people that you work with in terms of contracts, business partners. So look back and see what change you underwent in the 7th house area between 2018 and 2025. And for Sagittarius rising, Uranus is now moving into your 7th house. 7th house is all about one-on-one relationships. It's about your romantic partners. It's about your business partners. It is about clients. It is about any person that you relate to in terms of contracts. So expect great change in that area of relationships between now and 2033. And for Sagittarius, you had Uranus in your 6th house between 2018 and 2025. The 6th house is the house of work, and it is also about daily habits and daily routines, and it is also about health. So look back and see what radical change you have experienced between 2018 and 2025 related to work and health matters. So for Capricorns, Uranus is now moving into your 6th house. The 6th house is about work, it is about health, it's about daily routines, and things can really be shaken up and changed in that area for you between now and 2033. Capricorn, between 2018 and 2025, you had Uranus in your 5th house. So you could have had great shakeups in terms of your children, relationships with your children, experiences that your children may have been going through, and also with things that bring you joy, your creative life, your romantic life. All of these things could have undergone a great change between 2018 and 2025. And for Aquarius, Uranus is now moving into your 5th house. The 5th house is called the house of joy. It is about hobbies. It is about things that bring us joy, like walks on the beach, and it is about our creativity, how we express ourselves, and it is also about children. So expect great change, Aquarius, in those 5th house matters between now and 2033. And for you, Aquarius, between 2018 and 2025, you had Uranus in your 4th house. This means that you could have had great change in terms of your physical home, your relationships to your family, in your experience of ancestors and ancestry, in relation to parents. All of these things could have undergone great shifts. And then for Pisces, Uranus is now moving into your 4th house. And the 4th house is all about home. It's about your physical home. It's about your ancestry. It's about your family. It's about what feels like an inner home to you. And expect change between now and 2033 in this part of your chart. And for Pisces, between 2018 and 2025, you had Uranus in your 3rd house. So see what change occurred for you in terms of your mind, your thought patterns, your communication patterns, how you relate and communicate to others, how you learn, what you studied, how your experiences and observations have changed in terms of learning, studying, and communication. And it's also about siblings in the third house, and also about your day-to-day inner and outer environment, like your neighborhood. So this has brought me to the end of this video. And yes, go back to the EFT part and use this over the next 4 months if this is going to be helpful for you. Please like and share this video if you find it helpful. Please leave an emoji below, and it helps my channel to grow. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for being here. I will see you again next time.